Hello students, in today's lecture we will be discussing the basic terms which are related to laser. There are some important terms we need to study before we start the types of lasers. So let us just start the first term. It is known as population inversion. What do you mean by the term population? We are discussing population related to physics. So population in this particular chapter means the number of atoms. If you say population of higher energy level, means the number of atoms which are present in higher energy level. Similarly, if you say population of lower energy level, that means the number of atoms which are present in the lower energy level. So for a system with two energy levels, if you remember, when we discussed the video related to Einstein's theory, in that video, I had assumed two particular energy levels, E1 and E2. So we are just going to study the terms related to those assumptions only. So for a system with two energy levels, E1 and E2, suppose a photon of energy equal to the difference of energy between the two levels is incident on the system. So what event will occur? What is the event that is likely to occur? Now E1 and E2 are the two energy levels. So the difference between these two energy levels, that is E2 minus E1, we term it as h nu, that is a photon. So we will consider that suppose there is a photon which has an energy difference to equal to the difference between these two energy levels. So if this is the scenario, what can occur? So there is a probability induced absorption. Under normal circumstances, Einstein showed that both the processes are probable. It can be absorption also. What do you mean by absorption? From lower energy to higher energy. And what do you mean by emission? From a higher energy level to a lower energy level. So according to Einstein, both these processes are probable. And what actually, it depends on the population of the respective levels. Let us just discuss. So in a system with large number of atoms, now if you remember in my previous video, I had just assumed one atom. Practically, there is no material, no system having only one atom. It has a large number of atoms. So in a system with large number of atoms, the dominant process will depend on the virtual number of atoms in the upper and lower state. Virtual means the actual number of atoms that are present. Now let us just consider two cases. If we have large population in the upper energy level, that is upper state. So suppose I say that upper energy level E2 has more number of atoms. That means we have the condition N2 greater than N1. So we say that if there are more number of atoms in higher energy level, definitely stimulated emission will occur. And if there is a large population in the lower energy level, if more energy levels are present in lower energy state E1, that is if we have N1 greater than N2, and if you incident energy, what will happen? These atoms will absorb the energy and move on to the upper energy level. So we can say that induced absorption will occur. So as per this point, we can say that what process is going to occur, which process is going to occur depends on the population of the respective state. So if we want, because laser is the result of stimulated emission. So if we are wanting that stimulated emission should occur, if stimulated emission has to dominate, it is necessary to increase the population of the upper energy level, E2, right? Because in the previous video, we had relation between spontaneous and stimulated emission, and we saw that spontaneous emission dominates stimulated emission. And if there is more spontaneous emission, you will never get laser. Because we need coherent light, we need stimulated emission, and to increase stimulated emission, we should have more population of higher or upper energy level. So now let us define the term population inversion. It is the state of achieving more number of atoms in excited state, that is the higher energy state, as compared to ground state or the lower energy state is called population inversion. And we call this term as N2 greater than N1. You just have to write this definition in exam. Now population inversion can be achieved by a process called pumping. What do you mean by pump? To pump means to blow in energy, to give energy to something. As you blow a balloon, you pump it, right? So next term we define is pumping. It is a mechanism of exciting the atoms from lower energy state to higher energy state by supplying energy from an external source. So if you give energy to lower energy state, the atoms will move from lower to a higher energy state. Now this energy can be any external source. It can be in the form of light, it can be in the form of heat, it can be in the form of current. Now we have some basic types of pumping. The first one of them is known as optical pumping. Now the term optical is always related to light. Optical means where it is a term which involves light. So in this type of pumping, what is done? An external optical source like a xenon lamp, neon lamp or a radon lamp, all the elements of the fluorescent series. So an external optical source like a xenon flash lamp is used to excite atoms to a higher energy level. Such a type of excitation is used in solid lasers. Now generally solid lasers use optical pumping, wherein to send the atoms to higher energy level, to excite the atoms to higher energy level, we require optical source. Some examples of solid lasers which use optical pumping are ruby laser and HENE laser, that is helium neon laser, which we are going to, these are the two which we are going to study in our chapter. The second type of pumping, it is known as electrical pumping. You can also say it is direct electron excitation, the other name of this type of method. Now in this type of pumping, the electrons are excited or accelerated to a high velocity by supplying a strong electric field. Suppose you have, now this is the type of pumping which is used in gaseous lasers. So if you have a gas, say for example CO2 gas is filled in a chamber, now that chamber is exposed to a very strong electric field. Because of this strong electric field, what happens? The electrons of the gas, they get accelerated. Now these highly energetic electrons collide with the neutral gas atoms and ionize the medium. Now due to the strong electric field, what happens? There is a collision between electrons and the neutral gas atoms. Now this will ionize the entire medium. It is ionizing the entire medium means it is raising the atoms to a higher energy level. So due to this ionization, the atoms get excited to a higher energy level. As I just said that this type of pumping is used in gaseous laser, a common example is CO2, that is carbon dioxide laser. The third type of pumping we call direct conversion pumping. In this type of pumping, a direct conversion of electrical energy to light takes place. In this type of pumping, when a forward current is induced, like we have PN junction diode. PN junction diode, I hope you might have heard the term PN junction diode. So PN junction diode is a semiconductor device which is having a P-type material and an N-type material. They both are fused to form a junction. So such a diode will always give you current in forward bias. Forward bias means if you connect the P side to positive terminal of battery, N side to negative terminal of battery, in that case what will happen? Current will flow through the PN junction diode. So actually what is happening? The electrons are moving from N side to P side. They are recombining with holes. You are giving the electrons energy in the form of current. So they are recombining with holes. And this recombination releases energy because energy is not destroyed. So whenever there is a recombination between electron and hole, light is released. So you can say that the current which was given was directly converted into light. Example of this type of pumping is semiconductor laser. A common laser which uses semiconductors is GAAS, stands for gallium arsenide laser. So this was all about the second term, pumping. Now let us move on to the third one, that is lasing. Lasing is a process which leads to emission of stimulated photons after establishing population inversion. So once population inversion is done, once you have higher energy level, the population of higher energy level more than lower energy level, and continuously energy is being supplied, what will happen? Those excited atoms will come down. Why do they come down? Because higher the energy, higher is the instability. So definitely they are going to come down. So when they come down, they release the energy in the form of coherent light. So in brief, we can say that lasing means generation of coherent light. What do you mean by the word coherent? Coherent means same phase, same direction. Number 4, lifetime. The limited time period for which a particle or atom remains in excited state. Now, whenever in the remaining part of chapter, we use excited means full energy, 100% energy. So, limited time period for which a particle or an atom remains in excited state is called lifetime. Now, you see, if the atom is having 100% energy, it will be highly unstable, because higher the energy, higher is the instability. So 100% energy means it will be maximum, it will be having maximum instability. So that duration for which atom has 100% energy, the duration is very small, and that is what we call lifetime. It is about a nanosecond. You can say nanosecond, the range is 10 raised to -9 to 10 raised to -8 seconds. Because we have minus sign here, I have written -9 to -8. Metastable state. The energy level in an atomic system where lifetime of a particle or an atom is large. Compared to lifetime, which we discussed above, it is the level where atom stays for a longer period compared to excited state. And this is generally about a millisecond. So 10 raised to -3 to 10 raised to -2 seconds is the limit. Now this is the state which is actually helping to achieve population inversion and stimulated emission. You know why? Because if you consider excited state is the level, or 100% energy is the level where atom cannot absorb more energy. First point. Second point, it can stay there only for a nanosecond. So this is the level, having 100% energy, you can never achieve stimulated emission at the excited level. Because it already has 100% energy, it cannot absorb more. And secondly, it will be there only for a nanosecond. So how can you control the emission? So actual emission, the stimulated emission, starts from metastable state, wherein the lifetime is also large and the atom is having comparatively less energy than excited state. I repeat again, less energy than the excited state. I did not mention ground state. Number 6 is known as active medium. Active medium is the medium in which population inversion is achieved. You can say it is a medium in which, or the medium which is used to produce laser. So medium in which population inversion is achieved for laser action is called active medium. There are some examples which are commonly used in case of lasers. One of them is gaseous laser. One example is CO2 laser and HENE laser. So carbon dioxide laser and helium neon laser. Number 2, semiconductors. So gallium arsenide laser, gallium nitride laser. I have just written one or two examples of each which are very commonly used. Glass. Glass is also used to produce laser. So silicate or phosphate glasses doped with laser active ions are used. And liquids in the form of dye solutions. In general, I can say laser active medium is a collection of atoms or molecules which can be excited into population inversion situation. Because once population inversion situation is achieved, only then stimulated emission can occur. The last term we discuss in this video is optical resonator. Optical resonator is the most important part related to laser, because this is the thing which actually amplifies the laser. If you remember the full form of laser, the full form says light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. The term amplification in the full form of laser is achieved with the help of optical resonator. Now, what exactly is an optical resonator? It is a pair of reflecting surfaces, example a mirror, of which one is a perfect reflector and the other is a partial reflector. So you have two mirrors, it is a pair having two mirrors. Out of these two mirrors, one is a perfect reflector, the other one is a partial reflector. This is used for amplification of photons, thereby producing an intense, because you know that laser has a very high intensity. So this highly intense laser and coherent output is achieved with the help of optical resonator. Let us discuss quickly what an optical resonator is. Suppose I consider this as my active medium. Now active medium is the medium which has to achieve population inversion. For achieving population inversion, you need a pumping source that is shown here. Now, surrounding the active medium, we have two mirrors. One mirror is known as a fully reflecting mirror. The other one is a partial reflecting mirror. How does it amplify laser? Just assume that active medium releases 4 photons. Say for example, there are 4 photons released. Now, the cavity is such that only at the ends output can come out. The photons can, so suppose two photons move here. What will happen if the 2 photons strike the fully reflecting mirror? They cannot cross this because it is a fully reflecting mirror. So they just strike and come back. They come back in the active medium. So 2 photons will activate or excite 2 more atoms. Now there are 4. Getting it? Now these 4 again, if they come back here, they strike here, they will again come back in the medium, they will release 4 more atoms. So there will be a chain of atoms being excited in the active medium, which will increase the output. On the other side, if we have a partial reflecting mirror, so initially if 2 photons moved here, suppose I say out of these 2, one came out, the other one went back into the medium. The purpose of having the partial mirror is because we need the output also. If I keep fully reflecting mirrors on both the sides, I will not get output. And if I keep partial on both the sides, I will be getting laser from both the sides. So instead of that, what is done is one side has full 100% reflecting mirror, the other has partial reflecting mirror. So whenever the photons strike on the surface, they energize and come back into the medium, and in turn they excite more atoms. This is how laser beam is amplified. So an optical resonator is a part of laser consisting of 2 mirrors, one highly reflective, one partially reflective, placed on either side of laser pump. Between these 2 mirrors, light bounces back and forth, enhancing stimulated emission within the pump. It actually creates a chain reaction, that is, one excited photon excites other atoms, and the laser light will come out through the partially reflected mirror. So this is how the laser is amplified. In the next video, we'll be starting with ruby laser. Thank you.